This brother here, he was not slated to speak because didn't nobody know about him other than me. And one of the reasons that I knew, but the primary reason that I knew about this brother was because me and him shared a stage about 2 years ago, right here in this very town, where the Nation of Islam was giving awards to people who were working diligently in their community in the aspect of prison reform. I received an award with this brother right here in High Springs, the multi-purpose center over on Ida B. Wells Street, not Memphis Street. That ain't Memphis Street, that's Ida B. Wells Street. And when I received the award that brother gave him, we developed a bond. You know, even though we don't talk, I watch and I monitor this brother. And I seen recent events that were taking place in Nashville, where white supremacists had came into the town and were determined to state their case or whatever it was that they were doing. This brother right here was the lead activist, you know, in the Nashville community that I saw. And I said, I stand on the stage with that brother. I know that brother. And the brother's also a health, fitness brother. And his mind is a liberated mindset. So I reached out to the brother and I told him, I said, hey man, you gotta come to Holly Springs, Mississippi to the 8th annual Building Black Power Summit because I think it'll be very, very impactful if you can. And then when the brother showed up, I hadn't seen him in person since that event that we had here in Holly Springs. And I told him right out there, I said, brother, you look better in person than you look in social media. I said, no homo, but I'm serious, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm in admiration of your health and how you keep yourself, brother. Because we need to see that, we need to challenge each other on that. Even me myself, I done failed in my health. In the aspect of health, I got to get back up. And when I look at a brother like you and your determination, and I see you in person, and I see what it is that you're doing, you're a manifestation of what you talk about. You're a manifestation there. So it ain't no homo. It's just a brother telling another brother. I love you, bro. And I love how you look. You understand what I'm saying? I love the physical aspect that you bring. You understand what I'm saying? So without further ado, because I'm even saying it all before you get up here. Y'all welcome brother Larry Turner. Tuesday, always from Nashville, Tennessee.
Greetings, everybody. First, I'd like to ask everybody to repeat after me. Just fist it out. I'd like everybody to say, where you sit, your ways open. 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 Which means black power is Swahili. Absolutely. My name is Larry Turner. Most people call me LT. I'm out of Nashville. My story, you know, I was at age 18. When I was on my way to the Navy, I shot down the police. I was out in Nashville. So I'm kind of like a household name in the city of Nashville. But luckily, by the grace of God, I was delivered from that situation to where I only got probation. And in the process of getting probation, you know, I got kicked out of the jail with the police looking at me as a threat. So me thinking that the only thing I had to do was go into the streets because I felt that being that I shot at law enforcement, and no companies or no business would hire me. So I went head first into the streets. So when I went head first into the streets, I wound up, you know what I'm saying, getting shot by the police. And when I got shot by the police, I wound up, you know, as I was in the county jail, I was, of course, in the streets selling drugs. I wound up seeing the dude that I was selling drugs with. He got caught like 36 feet. So in the process of me completing my time to get shot by the police and shooting at the police, I got out, I was under federal investigation. And while I was under federal investigation, the feds came and got me. Ultimately, I got a life sentence in federal prison. And when they sentenced me to life, after serving 13 years, my sentence was reduced because of the change in the crack law. So it was reduced from life to 24 years. Ultimately, I served 20 years in federal prison, got a legal release in 2016. Upon coming home, I went back to the same community that I was once destroying and started building up at the community and doing, you know what I'm saying, great works. Which through all that right there, I was able, you know what I'm saying, to get on with working on the presidential campaign in 2020 with Tom Steyer, who's the only presidential candidate who was talking about reparations. He talking about, you know what I'm saying, us receiving it. And I was very instrumental in making the police wear body cameras in Nashville. I was also very instrumental in getting the first police officer not only convicted, but sentenced to prison in Nashville for killing one of the community members. Now you along my activism, I got appointed to the Procurement Standing Board, which I serve right now. The only convicted fellow to ever serve on this board, which in procurement, we do everything from selling shoes to the county jail, to selling getting funds released to build the $2.1 million football stadium for the Tennessee Titans. Yes, absolutely. So with that, I got recognized by Small Business Administration, like I was telling the brother. So I serve on the Regulatory Affairs Board in Washington, D.C., which the Regulatory Affairs Board, I don't know how many business owners there, you know what I'm saying? How many business owners there by a show of hands? All right, so if you need any help, what we do on the Regulatory Affairs Board is if you feel like the regulations are unfair and you feel like your business is being discriminated against, we would, you know what I'm saying, take your, whatever your claim is, send it to the ombudsman office, and they will appoint somebody to handle your case for you. So those are some of the things that I do on the activism side. But what I want to come here to talk about today is, I want to talk about it's a movement, not a moment. All right. It's a movement, not a moment. All right. And how many believe that business is warfare?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because that's what the Minister Farrakhan stated. Yeah. Business is warfare, and law is business. Just like the sister, I think Sister Crystal stated that education is business. And I want to run down a timeline on where business and law has been warfare against our community. And I start off with slavery.
Okay.
Slavery was business, and it was warfare, and it was law. Black codes was business, it was warfare, and it was law. Jim Crow, integration, the war on drugs, for-profit prisons, the 1994 crime bill, the list goes on, you know what I'm saying, showing how war has been waged on us as a community. But thank God for our ancestors, because through all those events that took place, there was resistance that took place. With slavery, not only resistance, through that resistance, those movements taking place. So with slavery, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser, and Harriet Tubman, they started the freedom movement. Absolutely. And through that right there, that movement, you know what I'm saying, as Fred Hampton said, you know what I'm saying, you can kill a revolutionary, but you will not kill the revolutionary. And with that spirit of starting the freedom movement with black codes, Dr. Marcus Garvey, he started the Back to Africa movement, which was necessary at that particular time. Then, with the Civil Rights movement, that spirit took form through Dr. King, you know what I'm saying, where him, along with Rosa Parks, you know what I'm saying, they felt compelled, you know what I'm saying, to move out with, like I said, the Civil Rights movement. Then, through immigration and Jim Crow, you had the Black Power movement, you know what I'm saying, where you had Stokely Carmichael, as we mentioned, the Panthers. The list goes on with George Jackson, Jonathan Jackson, Angela Davis, the sister who was right there, you know what I'm saying, said she's Angela Davis too, you know what I'm saying, absolutely, you know what I'm saying, which I salute her. But through all these events, whether it was, you know what I'm saying, the 1994 crime bill, you know what I'm saying, what most people fail to realize is the prison movement, which I was a part of. I was a leader inside the federal prison system, which I was very instrumental in having, doing food strikes, work strikes, and also got caught in prison ride with some Hispanics when I was in Memphis, which, like I said, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. And being at home, you know what I'm saying, we, brothers elected me to be the leader of 500 blacks from all across the country just because they believed in what I stood for. What I stood for was, one, you know what I'm saying, is to make sure everybody go home. You know what I'm saying, under enemies necessary. So when that event took place, we had a Hispanic warden, and they rounded all of us up, and he sent me an hour away from Mexico, you know what I'm saying, which had number of Hispanic officers. But I say all that to say, when I was in intake, I had a case manager came to me. She was like, well, we ain't got the same kind of message y'all had up there in Memphis, you know what I'm saying? We got some different ones down here, you know what I'm saying? Do you want to go out there on the compound? I said, of course, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to let you know I'm going to defend myself if I have to, you know what I'm saying? Go out here and anything come to me. So, being a prison leader, you know what I'm saying, on this side, they're talking a lot about leadership because I know that sometimes when things transpire, we feel like that we got to assess everything like the brothers talk about on TV. If something pop off, how you gonna respond? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna sit and try to have all these different, you know what I'm saying, conversations. But when something pop off, it's react. You got to react, but you got to allow for training. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's good to get with like-minded individuals and y'all come up, you know what I'm saying, good strategies before any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and I want to go also to the last movement. The last movement, because anytime we have made advancements here in this country, like we're going to talk about, the white supremacists coming to Nashville, and I had to stand up and speak about, you know what I'm saying, well, speak out about that, call out our mayor, call out our governor, call out our council, and tell all of them, you know what I'm saying, they need to come and address that, because if they don't, you know what I'm saying, we finna move out and see them in the streets, you know what I'm saying, so they wind up, you know what I'm saying, passing, you know what I'm saying, resolutions, they wind up, you know what I'm saying, doing what they normally do, push paperwork, but they made sure the Metro police officers made sure them people got out of town because they knew what time it was. So with the Black Lives Matter movement, you know what I'm saying, anytime we make advancements, you know what I'm saying, they always come with police brutality, which is taking place, you know what I'm saying, in many of these cities, which is basically a new way of lynching. The same thing that how Sarah said after slavery, you know what I'm saying, when our people made advancements after Reconstruction, you know what I'm saying, they came through with lynchings, which thank God for Sister Ida B. Wells, who led, you know what I'm saying, but like through the Black Lives Matter movement, you know what I'm saying, what they gave birth to was Ferguson, which our people stood up against militarism and our police force, and gave birth to Baltimore, what we seen our youth, you know what I'm saying, waged war or did not bow down to police officers where they was throwing bricks and bottles and sticks and whatever they got their hands on. They was fearless during those moments, which Black Lives Matter gave birth to that type of energy. Also, 2020, let's not forget 2020, where all across the United States, you know what I'm saying, we had our people dismantling any symbol of white supremacy across this country. Which, you know what I'm saying, I tell everybody, you know what I'm saying, we must continue to take that energy and move it forward. Because, you know what I'm saying, I have never seen nothing like that take place since I've been born in America, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I believe made them people bring COVID over here. Because, you know what I'm saying, our people and our youth was cutting up, you know what I'm saying? And I was in the midst of it. And the last thing is the Montgomery Brawl. You know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? And our people seen, you know what I'm saying? Our brothers being, you know what I'm saying, assaulted by any means necessary and took off from them. You know what I'm saying? So, which gets me to today. And I've heard a lot about power. And I'd like to go to our brother, the scholar, who stated that power is the ability, Dr. Wade knows, the ability to find your own reality and get others to accept it as their own. The ability to define your own reality and get others to accept it as their own. What reality are we going to accept?
Okay.
What reality do we want today, here, moving forward? You know what I'm saying? Because we all see what's going on, you know what I'm saying, nationally. We know what's about to come in the next 40-some days. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how it's going to shake out, it's still going to be something. You know what I'm saying? So it's on us. You know what I'm saying? As leaders, are we going to respond like that? Are we going to respond like you? Are we going to respond, you know what I'm saying, like the youth in Baltimore? Are we going to respond like our people going to resist every time something came upon us? You know what I'm saying? And I feel, me personally, that our issues of the day is we got 33% of black men have a felony. And with having a felony, we are negatively impacted, you know what I'm saying, by 44,000 collateral consequences that come with issuing a felony. You know what I'm saying? What I fight for on the SBA, Regulatory Affairs Board, and also on the procurement board is removing barriers. Removing barriers that affect convicted felons. So that, you know what I'm saying, we don't have to, you know what I'm saying, have an easy pathway into going to commit a crime because we got so many barriers that stop us from trying to do right. That's one thing, you know what I'm saying, I believe that we need to fight for, is integrating our brothers and sisters who do have convicted felons back into society. Because so often we in the shadows trying to, you know what I'm saying, make ends meet because that's what they'll push us off to. Also, the 14th Amendment. I feel that we need to, you know what I'm saying, challenge the 14th Amendment because why do we need an amendment to just sit on this country? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need to be standing on. We don't contribute too much to America to need an amendment and they got to sign every self-yield for us, you know what I'm saying, to be a citizen, or for us, you know what I'm saying, just be whole in this country. And the last thing, like the sister spoke on, is reparations. Those are the three things that I think that we need to move out on, and I think the new movement that we need to operate off of is the Reconstruction movement. You know what I'm saying? Tear it all down and then build it up.
Y'all see what I'm talking